Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into a really important and rapidly evolving area: how state legislatures are grappling with the regulation of artificial intelligence. It might sound a bit dry, but trust me, this is something that's going to impact all of our lives in a big way. As outlined in today's script, just in February of 2025, we saw a surge of activity, with 16 state legislatures introducing 23 different bills, all focused on AI governance. This isn't just some far-off future concern, this is happening right now. And what's driving this legislative push? Well, it boils down to some pretty serious worries about how AI is being used and could be misused. Think about things like algorithmic discrimination, where AI systems might unfairly disadvantage certain groups, the dangers of synthetic media like deepfakes, and of course, the ever-present concern of data privacy. These new laws are really trying to tackle three core problems. First, they want to prevent AI from being used for identity fraud. Second, they're aiming to reduce bias in algorithms, especially when these algorithms are used in critical services. And third, they want to create accountability for those really high-risk AI systems that could have a significant impact on people's lives. We're seeing different states taking different approaches. For example, Maryland is leading the charge by requiring impact assessments for AI used in housing, employment, and healthcare. Basically, they want to know upfront if these systems are fair. New York is taking a slightly different tack, focusing on state agencies and making sure they only buy AI systems that meet strict fairness standards. Now, who's going to be most affected by these regulations? Well, the legislation is really focused on protecting several key groups: minority communities who might face bias in things like credit scoring, women and non-binary individuals who could experience gender bias in hiring tools, immigrant populations and their biometric data, and persons with disabilities who need accessible AI interfaces. Interestingly, the way states are approaching this regulation varies quite a bit depending on the region. In the Northeast, the focus is heavily on consumer protection. Out in the Mountain West, they're looking more at criminal justice applications and deepfakes. Southern states are concerned with employment practices and bias in hiring. And the Midwest is really honing in on data privacy. But it's not all smooth sailing. There are some big challenges in implementing these regulations. One is just defining what exactly a high-risk AI system is. It's trickier than it sounds and could create loopholes. Another issue is enforcement. Many states just don't have the staff to oversee and audit these complex AI systems. And finally, there's the problem of interstate coordination. Different states have different rules, which can be a real headache for companies operating across multiple states. This isn't the first time lawmakers have had to grapple with new technologies. They're actually drawing lessons from past experiences, like the biometrics regulation wave in the 90s, the algorithm accountability measures after the 2008 financial crisis, and even the GDPR in Europe. Looking ahead, these AI regulations are likely to be rolled out in phases over the next few years. We might see AI developer certification programs popping up first. Federal action could eventually step in to create more uniform standards. But for now, it feels a bit like the early days of internet regulation. A lot of experimentation at the state level. There are a few key things to keep an eye on. How will free speech protections apply to AI? Will there be enough workforce retraining for people who need to understand and comply with these new rules? And will we see the rise of AI regulatory sandboxes to test out new technologies in a controlled environment? Ultimately, these state-level bills represent a really important first step in governing the societal impacts of AI. It's a complex balancing act between encouraging innovation and protecting consumers. And as technology continues to advance at breakneck speed, with things like quantum computing and neuromorphic hardware on the horizon, these frameworks are going to need to be adaptable and forward-thinking. So, that's a quick rundown of the state of AI regulation. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Are these regulations going far enough? Are they too much? I'd love to hear your thoughts. And as always, thanks for watching.